All right, this is documenting the corporate entities that are violence with the U.S. military. All right, the puppets of the city of Ontario are indeed gang stalking, and that is surveillance in the sky space where the government does not have any, they're operating outside of what they have any constitutional authority to engage in and commit. The entity that's engaged in the pattern of conduct, the entity that's maintaining criminal surveillance, the entity that's doing so through corrupt corporate entities such as GRIFFITH company that I'm going to shut down. I'm going to federally prosecute them, and that company will no longer exist. They're engaging in what is domestic terrorism and facilitating domestic terrorism and funding domestic terrorism. These are demons as well. And your knowledge of all that is based on the demons of the gang that are the Ontario police that engage in criminal summoning right here at this venue, okay? And that was prior to daylight savings time, which is you're affording an hour, okay? That's never gonna compensate, reconcile, in other words, for the duration of time that the sun is necessarily at one address, which is literally antithetical to the sun itself. That's a constant moving, gaseous ball of fire that does not sit above the top of our heads, that doesn't hover over buildings, that doesn't sit beside the windows of the first, second, third floor, whatever building that you're inside of. This is how you are aware of what is stalking. The entity is stalking in the sky space while I'm documenting GRIFFITH Company. Demons that are maintaining what is construction for the Olympics that this entity anticipates they're going to be around for in order to witness. That's actually going to happen. Nonetheless, they're maintaining construction, which is criminal presence and activity, while the entity is stalking with commercial planes. And Stater Brothers is much more west of this location when you're listening to the podcast of that audible activity as though a plane is going to be taking off, even heard in the sky space, let alone being over that sky space when they're taking off from the airport. Ontario police are engaged in criminal summoning. Those gang members are going to prison. They are being disbanded. They are being prosecuted for treason, as are companies like GRIFFITH Company. And they're doing so with that are mentally ill. You're looking at psychopathic pacing, and you're looking at what is psychopathic pacing by the entity maintaining noise under a fake sun, and impunity that's relevant to damages, and the entity that's being prosecuted. Remember, GRIFFITH Company is gang stalking with the gang members of the city of Montclair. They're gang stalking with the gang members of the city of Fontana, and they're doing so while they are focusing on an object, in other words, stalking me by focusing on whatever is near me. That's a psychopath. That's a vagina monitor. That's a demon. And this is the entity that's going to be shut down. GRIFFITH Company is a threat to the public, as are the establishments where the entity is maintaining the pattern of conduct. Pacific Tire, where I'm right here on this street, and this is during the 10 a.m., 11 a.m. hour, which will be 11 a.m., 12 p.m. during daylight savings time. And there is no natural environment. It doesn't exist where the entity is maintaining what is stalking. That's what you're getting from that impossibility, which I continuously capture for you. This is P.O.C. It's 7:42 a.m.